Welcome to Nand Awakened, your soul's unlimited potential. My name is Eva, and as always, I'm so happy to have you here with me. And today, again, I'm still continuing with the Akashic series where I'm going to be doing a deep dive into karma and basically breaking down some of the misconceptions that some people might have out here in the world, right? Because karma doesn't really work the way that most people assume to work. Most people assume that karma works by doing good deeds towards other people. That's how you generate good karma. And in a sense, that's how you create good karma for yourself. But that's not the whole perspective. And I'm gonna be breaking down basically what karma really means at a soul level, okay? Just to help you understand how basically you might be working against yourself while thinking that you're actually creating good points for yourself or for your soul for the afterlife, okay? So here's the thing, right? In the previous videos, I talk about how all souls are designed, right? That we all have this 8 energy centers. Each and every aspect of our soul is made up of these energy centers. And energy center is basically how we're supposed to receive vital force energy from source, right? And energy, we know, is what basically runs this universe. And what runs us, we are matter, or we are beings made of energy, and we need energy to continue running, right? And again, we receive energy through these particular energy centers. So in the previous videos, I talked about these energy centers containing divine gifts, our soul gifts, basically what you're supposed to leverage in order to create our current human experience by tapping into these soul gifts, right? And each soul has an aspect, is basically gifted at something, right? But when it comes now to creating positive karma or good karma, as most people will call it, right? It's not basically just by doing good deeds. That is a part of it, but that's not all of it. And you can easily see the evidence of this by just looking around at what is currently happening in the world, right? And a lot of people might ask, like, why do good things happen or bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people, right? There's always that question. Once I started like doing a deep dive into the Akashic records, I came to understand that good karma and bad karma does not work the same way, that we've all come to understand, right? So good karma is basically generated when we live aligned to who we are at soul level, right? Like all the choices we make in our lives are basically aligning to who we are as soul. And remember, we're just here to really experience ourselves as the divine creators of our own experience, right? Like that's the main purpose for all souls. We're here to express ourselves in an individuated way that gives like source a different way of experiencing itself, right? But the more you negate from how the more you move away from how you were originally designed to operate, the more you create blocks and restrictions. And I've talked about this in previous videos, and I'm also going to be talking more about the blocks and restrictions and the different types of blocks we create for ourselves in later videos. So make sure you tune into my channel. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel and you like the kind of content I do share out, make sure you do subscribe and also click on the notification bell that's next to the subscribe button so that you might be getting alerts for each and every time I share out a post. So make sure you do that so that you don't miss out on any content that might actually start making you think differently, right? Because I'm here for you for that, just to kind of like awaken you to who we really are, right? So back to living aligned to who we are at soul level, right? We just making choices based aligned to who we are. But most of us in all our previous lifetimes, like we've made so many choices that go against who we are, who we were originally made to be, right? Like we've come into this kind of agreements with other people in very negative kind of circumstances, right? For some people, it's people who made vows to maybe their spouses in previous lifetime, and they're still continuing with those vows in this current lifetime, right? So basically create bad or negative karma for ourselves the more we're making choices aligned now to all those negative choices we made in the past. And that's how basically negative karma is created, okay? But sometimes most people might not realize is when you're looking at, for example, someone who might be labeled as being bad in society, and I'm gonna put bad in quotes because souls are not really bad, right? Like if you look at it, like a soul is evidently a very, I want to say, is abundant, is good, is loving, is all that. Like that's basically what describes the soul. It doesn't have any negative aspect to it. So that's why I'm putting bad in quotes. When you're looking at someone who's labeled as bad, and you're kind of looking at them and thinking that, why does this person get to have all the money in the world, right? Like you're looking at them, they seem to be really enjoying their life. They're getting to travel the world. They're getting to have these amazing experiences that you might want for yourself, right? And you're thinking that this person is not inherently like they don't really do good things. Even if you look at the way maybe they treat people, it's not what might be generally considered to be good by most people, but somehow they seem to be making it, right? And here's the thing, right? If someone is really tapping into their soul level gifts, that means they have more energy to create more of what they want. Okay, so remember again, good karma is released by making choices aligned to who we are at soul level. And the more of those choices that you make, the more vital force energy, which is the energy for creation, you get to have in your life. And the more that energy you have, the more you're able to create or shape your life the way you'd want to shape it. So that's basically what is happening. It's not necessarily how you treat other people or whatever. It's just basically making choices aligned to who we are at soul level and creating more and more of what you want, because now you have access to more of that vital force energy. But a majority of the people on earth are not really living aligned to who they are at soul level. So we create so much struggle for ourselves. And of course, struggle is evident in the three major aspects of our life, which is health, relationships, and money, right? So there's always an aspect of our suffering. That being said, so I'm not going to discredit this whole thing about doing good deeds towards other people creates good karma. That does work, because what you might not know is that the energies we sent out to other people, they get returned back to us. So if you're inherently being a bad person towards other people, maybe you've murdered people, maybe you lie to people, maybe you do anything that goes against the accepted concept of how you're supposed to treat another human being, that energy gets returned to you. Even if it's not in this lifetime, you're gonna have to deal with that, right? So any energy you put out towards other people, even if it's anger or you name it, like think about any negative thing that you might have towards another person, you need to look at it like this. If maybe someone has angered me in a way, right, and I have every right to hold on to this anger and to wish bad on this person, right? Like you might be entitled, and some circumstances do warrant that. But did you know that by just doing that, you're actually creating a link between yourself and this person? You might not see it physically, but energetically, that's what you create between yourself and this other person. And that's why I'm so big on forgiveness, because forgiveness, leave alone the whole point of releasing the anger that you're holding on to someone else that is good for you. But when you don't do that, you're actually tying your energy to someone else, right? And until you resolve that energy, until you resolve whatever is tying the two of you together, you're gonna keep on I want to say encountering each other over and over again until the point one of you releases from this agreement. And that's why like so many people are so big on so many spiritual teachers are so big on teaching forgiveness, because there's always that tie that connects all of us, right? And you do not want that tie to be negative, because you're gonna keep on attracting this person over and over again until the point you resolve this karma for both of you. Okay, so trust me, like forgiveness, and I will never stop preaching this. Forgiveness is such a beautiful and powerful exercise that you can start doing for yourself, right? That it all not only releases your ties physically with this person, it also releases those ties energetically. So you don't have to like incarnate and have to deal with this person over and over again until you resolve. Okay, so back again to what I was saying before when we are talking about how we generate now through good deeds, right? So you might be a good person, you might be doing good towards others, you're super committed to the community, you want to see the community advance, you're a very nice friend, mother, whatever, just think about it, right? But inherently you're seeing that the goodness has not really been reflected so much in your life. Maybe your relationships are suffering, maybe your health is suffering, or maybe your money is suffering, which is, I think, the case for most people, right? It doesn't mean that the good deeds are not working. It just means that you've basically forgotten who you are at soul level. And all those choices that you've made in your past life, you're still continuing to make them, even though you don't know it consciously. Right? You're still making the same choices and just creating more blocks for yourself. And even if you look at this so-called bad people, again, I'm going to put bad in quotes. Even if you look at this bad people who seem to be making it in life, if you really, really investigate them thoroughly, you might realize like certain aspects of their lives are suffering, right? Because if fine, we might be tapping into vital force energy to create more of what we want in one aspect of our life, okay? So maybe that might be reflected in the form of money, right? So maybe you have a lot of money, but you find that you have a lot of money, but your relationships and your health are suffering, okay? Because again, like I said, like if you're not living aligned to who you are at soul level, you create dysfunction in these three major areas in your life. That's basically the evidence of you not living aligned to who you are at soul level. So if all of this is suffering, it just basically means you're very disconnected from who you are at soul level. But maybe if it's just one or two which are working and one is still not working, again, not really tapping into who you are at soul level. And the best way to know if you're really fully tapped into who you are at soul level is when there's balance in literally all aspects of your life. That's basically it. Because we're not created here, we were not created as souls to come here and suffer, which is something that has been preached by many people over and over again. Like um there's this kind of like a badge of honor you get the more you suffer, and there's nothing like that. We're inherently not made for that. And if you look at it, like investigating your society, I mean, I see like some of the spiritual like if you really look at their lives, you'd see like they're really finding balance in almost all aspects of their life, and that just means they've really remembered who they are. And that's how you can actually be able to tell. Some people, you might see that yes, they're making it in money, maybe they have the best relationship, but there's an aspect of them that's still suffering. Maybe health wise, they're really not functioning on a good level on a health basis. So that's how I want you to look at you know how basically you create good karma and bad karma for yourself. So it's not just doing good deeds towards other people. Yes, that does help, like I said earlier, because it creates positive energy between you and other souls, but that's not the core of it all. The more aligned you live to who you are at soul level, the more you're able to create more of what you want. And I will not stop repeating that message to you, and I hope you do hear me. So thank you once again for tuning in. If you have any more questions for me, or maybe you want to know more information about this, do comment down below. I'll always be happy to respond to you. And thank you so much again for tuning in. Once again, if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any content I share out here. And as always, I finish all my videos by explaining how I can help you tap into your unlimited potential as a soul through soul realignment work, which basically relies on the Akashic records, your Akashic records, to help you remember who you are, to help you realign by clearing basically everything, all the negative karma that you've incurred for yourself in previous lifetime. And it's a lot for most people, right? People are struggling here just based on karma that they've created for themselves, based on the choices that they've been making. So it's soul realignment talk. We get to actually realign your soul blueprint energetically and basically restore you to who you were originally created to be. And then you get to reclaim your full potential as the divine creator of your own human experience, because once you clear out the blocks, you're able to get more vital force energy that you can actually use to create more of what you want. So I'm here for you with that. So as always, soul realignment work. Number one, we're going to be tapping into who you were originally created to be as a soul, what divine gifts, what soul gifts God gave to you. We're also going to be doing about the dysfunctional aspect of your particular soul, because like I said before, if you're not tapping into your gifts, you're tapping into the dysfunctional aspect of your soul, and you need to know this so that the choices that you make going forward don't you have more awareness, right? You have more awareness of how you're making choices going forward, so that you don't fall back into what you've just cleared with the soul realignment reading, right? So that's the awareness you get to have. Number three, we get to do a deep dive into your soul group, where you originally, your soul came from. Like I said, not all souls originally incarnated on earth. So many souls who are, not so many, but some souls who are currently on this planet originally incarnated in other star systems. And basically, if you're curious about where you came from, you get to discover that with soul realignment work. And we also get to discover the gifts that you were given as a soul based on that particular soul group you come from. We also get to do a deep dive into where you currently are vibrationally. As everyone always says, if you want to manifest more, you gotta raise your vibration. So we get to actually measure where your soul currently is vibrationally, like where you've actually elevated yourself consciously to be, right? So we get to get specific measurements for that, and also get to have some ideas of how you can raise your vibration more in order to create more of what you want. And last but not least, we get to do a deep dive into basically your soul story. We get to actually locate the particular lifetime that you started making negative choices that you're still currently repeating and that are really affecting your life currently. The whole beauty of this soul realignment work, that it's not all about just information for the sake of information. It's information that actually helps you change how you operate in the world, because with awareness, with knowledge, right, you can actually be able to make more choices that really fully support you as a soul. But without that awareness, you're kind of just fluttering around the world, just figuring it all out for yourself and just creating more and more luck for yourself. So you actually get to discover what choices you made in that particular lifetime that you've been repeating over and over and over again, including in this lifetime. And afterwards, of course, after the soul realignment reading that we do, we get to clear all these blocks, right? On an energetic level, you get to release all this karma you've carried in all this lifetime. And that basically means you don't get to have the attachment to past life choices. Now, going forward, if you so choose, you could recreate the same karma, bad karma or negative karma again, based on your choices going forward. But again, now that you have the awareness of who you are designed to be at soul level, those choices are going to be much easier for you to make. So you're not going to create the same set of circumstances again, right? So I'm here for you for that. If you're curious and will want to work with me, do check out the links down below in the description box. You can book a soul realignment reading with me, or if you want more information about this, reach out to me, Facebook, Instagram, send me a message. I'm always happy to respond. And thank you so much again for tuning in, sending me so much love. Bye for now. See you on the next video.